Welcome to the Manifesting Doll podcast. I'm Barbara Orban from No Diet Babe. I'm a spiritual mindset coach and weight loss expert. If you are a spiritual babe wanting to up-level your life around your body, health, wellness, spirituality, law of attraction and manifestation, then this is the podcast for you. I'm here to give you the tools, teachings, and strategies to manifest the body and life of your dreams. As spiritual babes, we know to focus on love as opposed to fear. So get ready to learn how to implement spiritual teachings to weight loss, wellness, and your daily life, coming from a place of love and abundance. This is a celebration of how we can shift our inner perception of ourselves and watch our outer selves shift. You can become the best version of yourself, and I'm here to help. So let's get started. Hey babes, welcome to the Manifesting Doll podcast. I'm Barbara Orban from NoDietBabe.com, and welcome to today's episode. So today's episode, I'm going to be giving you some tips for these Christmas holidays if you gained weight during the pandemic, if you gained weight during this year. Because I know that for a lot of you, this year was really, really tough. And we have been in isolation, a lot of us. Like for me, being in Melbourne, we were in one of the longest isolations in the world. And even at one point, we weren't allowed to travel beyond 5 kilometers, which is 3 miles, for any reason whatsoever. And we were only allowed to leave our homes for groceries once per day and exercise. And if anyone else was in isolation, like maybe even not as strict as that, or maybe it was strict or more strict, and you are telling me, okay, yes, because of that, because I was stuck at home, I was bored, because I wasn't able to go to the gym, for whatever reasons, you've gained weight. So I'm going to be talking about how to deal with it, first of all, from the perspective of, okay, now I've got this excess weight, I desperately want to lose it because I'm super anxious about going to these Christmas parties. I'm super anxious about people that I know seeing that I've gained weight. So now I've been kind of hiding and I want to lose this weight really quickly. So I've got lots and lots to say to you if this sounds like you. So I'm going to talk about two things here. I'm going to talk about what to do about the anxiety of seeing people. And then number 2, I'm going to talk about where to go from here, moving forward in 2021. So first of all, let's talk about you creating your own reality. Okay, so being that this is a manifestation podcast, we know that we are creating our own reality. And our thoughts and feelings and beliefs, mainly our subconscious mind, is creating our reality. So if you want to change something in your reality, rather than looking at the 3D world, or as like I was listening to Joe Dispenza, and Joe Dispenza is like always talking about how we're looking at like the 3D reality in like Newtonian physics, whereas we can create our reality like in the quantum realm. And kind of that's what I'm getting at is, why don't we look beyond the traditional way to lose weight and the traditional way to go about it, and look at the potential that you have to create whatever reality you want, which is what I've done. And I've used manifestation in other areas of my life. Like if you're a regular podcast listener, you'll know that a couple of years ago, 2 years ago to be exact, I quit my full-time job as a dental hygienist and pursued my business, right? And I used manifestation techniques to enable me to do that. And more recently, if you've followed my stories, you'll see that I now have a boyfriend. And prior to this, if you've known me, like you've worked with me as well as a client, you'll know the ups and downs of my manifestation journey around healing relationship stuff and having to do lots and lots of work around setting boundaries, raising standards, self-worth, lots of different things that I've had to work on. And I've worked with many, many different relationship coaches to get to where I am now. And in saying that, it's not the end of the journey for me. I am continuing to commit to my relational development, because I realized in working with my amazing coach, Catherine Daniele, there's self-development and then there's relational development, and they're actually, I could say they're quite different and very different to what I've been working on, which is just self-development. So I've been working on relational development, and I've done a lot of work. I've done lots of programs, lots of courses around relationships and understanding how I'm creating my own reality, right? So I had my list of the ideal mate, ideal boyfriend that I wanted to manifest, but just simply writing that list and doing these superficial techniques on manifestation wasn't enough. I had to do lots of deep inner work. I had to get uncomfortable and look at my childhood. I had to look at different limiting beliefs, different energies and frequencies that I was holding on to. And I had to look at my reality and collect data and say, okay, why is this happening? And let me look deeper. And it's going to be the exact same with your weight. So I know on a surface level, you might be like, okay, but what diet do I do? But how much do I exercise? Just give me the formula. And it's the same with dating. You can be like, okay, so should I go online dating? Where are all the good men at? Like, which bars should I go at? And it's like, you guys, you're missing the point. Like, when you are a vibrational match to something, you're a vibrational match regardless of what you do. So that's what I'm all about. That's what I'm always all about. So coming from that perspective, I see things differently when we're talking about weight. And when you say that you've gained weight during the pandemic, and then you'll be like, it's because of X, Y, Z, I'm like, well, my reality doesn't look like that. And my reality doesn't look like that because I've chosen a different reality. I chose a reality where, number one, I didn't gain weight even though I was in lockdown. I didn't gain weight even though I probably experienced the same emotions as you did. I felt stuck. I felt claustrophobic. I felt bored. I felt depression. All these negative emotions that came with isolation. I felt them, yet I didn't gain weight because my energy is not available for that. And I've done a lot of subconscious work on my relationship to food and my weight. So my whole programming and how I create my reality is very, very different to what it was, say, 10 years ago when everything would make me gain weight. Basically, if I'd go out to dinner, I'd gain weight. If I ate too much, I'd gain weight. If I stopped exercising, I'd gain weight. The list goes on. Like, I would just gain weight. And I've even had clients I post a picture of a burger, whatever, and somebody will comment and be like, oh my God, I gained 5 kilos just by looking at that. And it's like, can you feel the frequency that comes with that comment? Like, I can feel it. It's like, wow, it's so easy for me to gain weight. I just look at it and I gain weight. That is an energy that you carry that creates that reality. So all these little subtle things, you might be like, yeah, but that's my experience. Yeah, so your brain is going to base your future on your past experiences. But do you want that? Do you want that to continue, or are you ready to do something about it? So the first step is to really assess how you're going about these holidays. Because if you are desperately trying to lose weight quickly, You're stuck in this mentality of a quick fix. You're like, let me at least drop some water weight to feel slimmer at these Christmas parties. Maybe I'll skip some meals, but then you end up binge eating at the parties. You end up drinking too much. I want you to know that I've been there, first of all, and that cycle is not going to get you to permanent weight loss. Maybe, yes, you're like, but I just want to feel some instant relief. But long term, you're just reinforcing these habits that keep you in the cycle of yo-yo dieting. So maybe if you said to yourself, this is the last Christmas ever that I'm going to feel like this. This is the last Christmas ever that I set a goal for weight loss for the next year. Can you imagine a reality where you never ever have to set a weight loss goal because you've kept it off? That is what I experience. I don't have to set a weight loss goal each year because I just maintain the same weight, right? And it's beautiful. Like, that's the reality I wanted, because it's exhausting to every year have to be like, or even just every couple of months be like, oh, I better be a good girl because I've been bad lately. Yeah, I've gained a few pounds, so I better be good again. Like, that shit's exhausting. Like, I don't allow myself to adopt that mentality when other people, I can feel that they have that mentality. I'm just like setting a boundary. I'm like, I don't want your energy. Like, that's not the reality I want. I just want consistency. I want ease. I want trusting my body. I just want it to be less complicated than that. I just want to eat whatever I want, right? And that's it. That's my experience now. And that's what I teach people, to create that reality as well. Because it's really not that hard. I said it in a story the other day. It's like, if Joe Dispenza can cure cancer by using the mindset stuff and the manifestation stuff, you sure as hell can use it to lose weight. I mean, come on now, you guys. Like, it's really not that hard. It just requires persistence and, repetition. So, okay. So here's the thing. Like I said, if you're hiding, you're like, I'm worried that people are going to notice that I've gained weight during the pandemic. I get it. But the problem here is that you are continuing a cycle that tends to come up a lot. Just ask yourself this question. Is this not the first time that you've experienced shame and wanting to go into hiding because you've gained weight? Answer yes or no. Likely, if you're like me, you answered yes. You're like, yes, Barbara, this isn't if I'm being completely honest, this isn't the first time I've gone into hiding, or I've wanted to avoid people, or I've felt anxiety or shame about weight gain. Cool. So we've established a pattern. And guess what? Your life and your manifestation of your reality is a series of patterns. And our body and our emotions get addicted to these patterns. No matter how destructive they are, we will practice these patterns. Like, for example, in relationships, if you tend to attract a lot of drama, you attract all these problems, which I've realized that I've had to look at myself as well. Not just pointing fingers, I've experienced this myself. Then you need to look at your addiction to that drama, your addiction to those patterns, your addiction to those negative emotions, your addictions to those cycles. So, plain and simple, there is an addiction to this pattern of hiding. So then, if it's pretty convenient that you get to hide because of your weight, right? But what if you broke that pattern? What if you said, I am no longer going to allow myself to play out this same dynamic with myself. I'm going to break free from this pattern. That is how you change your reality, and that is how you're going to move towards permanent weight loss. Because as long as you're addicted to this cycle of When I gain weight, I experience shame. When I experience this shame and anxiety, I avoid socializing. When I experience this shame and anxiety, I sometimes do show up, but I tend to play small around people. I don't act confident. I avoid conversations. I avoid photos. I might simply try and perhaps make myself feel better by continuing to defend myself and say that I am going to try lose weight. Perhaps I'll continue to obsessively talk about dieting plans. Perhaps I'll lose weight and then start preaching it to everyone. Or I'll cling to somebody else who's lost weight and allow them to preach to me what I should be doing rather than having my own self and developing autonomy and learning about my body and becoming an intuitive eater, right? So there's all these different things that you might be stuck in this cycle like I was. And people get so caught up in what's the strategy to lose weight. You guys, none of that was really what got me to where I am now. The strategy is the strategy. Whatever fucking strategy is a strategy, and it can work. All of them can work. There are things that I teach my clients, yes, that I've learnt during my journey that is massive mistakes that people make with dieting that keeps them with them slowing down their metabolism. And I'm all about eating lots. I love eating lots of food, and I love eating a huge variety of food. I love being able to eat lots of different healthy foods, but also I love being able to eat burgers and chips and stuff, but I also love being able to add lots of nuts and seeds and fruits and vegetables and lots of variety, different healthy pastas, different types of rices and quinoa and dips and chickpeas, and I love adding all sorts of items to my food and piling it on my plate and not having to worry about calories or weight gain or anything like that. That's what I love about the reality I've created, right? I can have smoothies, I can have burgers, I can have salads, I can have everything, all of it, not just either or. Either I have this, either I have that. No, all of it, right? So that's really what you get to create as well if you understand how to outsmart your body, which is what I teach about as well. So here's the thing then, but none of that ultimately matters if you haven't understood that you're creating your reality with your mind, emotions, and your nervous system, etc. So then if you're playing out this pattern of am experiencing anxiety, they're all looking at me, they're all going to see I've gained weight, let me hide, let me just play small, let me try and do a cleanse and starve myself for 3 days so at least I don't feel so bloated and bulky and puffy. Let me at least get rid of some of this puffiness. Oh shit, they've noticed. Oh shit, they're commenting. Oh shit, they're being sarcastic about my weight gain or whatever you're experiencing. Then you go home, you feel like shit, and then you binge, right? Or on the other end, maybe you don't binge, but you get super obsessive about weight loss. You start being really strict, you start just not looking after your mental well-being and just pushing towards, let me just push myself into this weight loss. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to be super disciplined. I'm going to work out 6 days a week. And you do lose weight, but then you stay in that cycle. You're going up and down, losing and gaining. And it's no. Can you not see this pattern? Can you not see that throughout your life you have done this before? It's not just the pandemic. You have been through cycles. You regularly go through cycles. This isn't the first time you have gained weight and experienced shame because of it. So there is some deeper shit going on here where you are creating that reality over and over again. And it doesn't matter if you find the best diet, you are the most motivated, most disciplined person. If you are practicing this cycle, this pattern, and it is in your subconscious, and it is because it's happened a few times, you're aware of it now because I've talked about it, it will continue to play out unless you start doing that deeper work that I teach in my courses and my coaching. Okay, so that's the thing, is to look deeper, because if you gained weight during the pandemic, I have some truth for you right now. If you gained weight during the pandemic, you are pretty much 100% an emotional eater. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't gain weight. Because even if I stop exercising, even if my eating pattern changes, even if my diet changes, I still maintain the same weight. Whether I eat more junk food than usual, whether I drink more alcohol than usual, whether I eat more vegetables than usual, whether I cut out dairy, whether I go vegan, whatever happens, I can maintain the same weight. I won't lose anything. I won't gain anything. There's things like, okay, I can change in body composition sometimes. I do notice that. But because I listen to my body and I know how to eat in a particular way where I don't gain weight, like I just set it up in my brain that I maintain my weight. I've made that an energetic rule. I know that happens, right? And because I'm not an emotional eater, everything, when I make that intention and I make that choice, everything lines up, because all I have to do is listen to my body. But if you're gaining weight during a pandemic and you're like, it's because of XYZ, somewhere those systems are out of whack. And yeah, it's a combination of emotional eating. It's a combination of the rules that you've set in your brain of how your weight has to be. You've likely you've fallen for the limitations that society places on us. Like, you will gain weight if you stop exercising. You will gain weight XYZ. Like, they've normalized it. And it's not. It doesn't have to be like that. Like, why would you want that to be your reality? I don't. So therefore, I've created a different one. And it's the same shit, like with everything. I don't like to fall for these limitations. Like, like you can't meet good men. There are no good men out there and blah, blah, blah. Like all these stories that I hear from single people that attract emotionally unavailable men, they'll tell these stories. And I've really learnt to distance myself and be the observer and be like, that's not the ultimate truth though. And so I just can't see the limiting beliefs the same way anymore. And you can do the same thing too, right? It's pretty much just, it's a process, yes. But yeah, I mean, I teach that in my courses and coaching, how to overcome these limiting beliefs around weight and stuff. So yeah, and I do have something new coming as well. And the other thing is, you guys, I do have one-on-one coaching spots available. So if you're working one-on-one coaching with me, then you do get access to the courses that I have as well. So that's something that is really, really exciting. If you've been thinking of signing up for courses as well, you get them with my private coaching package. So yeah, basically what I want you to look at here is you're going to be tempted. We are bombarded constantly by these quick fix things and this advice. If you are wanting to lose weight during the holidays, make sure you avoid any carbs, avoid the creamy meals, like take a check of the calories, like have vodka soda instead of soft drink based drinks, like all this like practical advice. And none of it, like for years and years and years, I followed a traditional slim girl diet, right? For years, I was like, vodka soda only, please. Like, I used to do that when I used to go out. Vodka soda only, salad and protein with every meal, 0 carbs. Like, oh my God, I was like that for years. And I still played out the same reality where I would fluctuate in weight. I would gain weight easily. I'd have anything that I deemed bad or fattening, and I'd gain weight. Like, it was just a vicious cycle. And then I'd want to hide when I gain weight. I would starve myself. I would skip meals just so I can feel skinny. Like, if I was going to the beach, I'd make sure that I wasn't eating that day. If I was going out and wearing a tight dress, I'd skip dinner, and then I'd get really drunk because I didn't eat. Like, is that what you're doing? Like, are you going to go to Christmas parties and just, I'm just going to pick at food really lightly, have a few drinks because I just don't want to look fat in my dress or whatever. Like, I want to feel light. It's that, I've talked about that on previous episodes where you like have that addiction to feeling light. So I know what goes on in your head because I was there, and let me tell you that it's not the reality that I experience now, and what I experience now is so much easier. It is so much easier. And I created this reality by understanding that all of that shit, the quick fix diet, was keeping me in the cycle of losing weight and gaining it. And I had to do the deeper inner work, similar to dating. The work got uncomfortable. I got really triggered many times. I saw things about myself that I didn't want to see. The work took a while. The work is still taking a while. Like, there's still work. It's not just this quick fix. I'm still learning every single day, more stuff. And I made mistakes. Success wasn't linear. There were times it looked like it wasn't working, that I was failing. But inevitably, you get better. Inevitably, you improve. But here's the thing that I noticed with some people, like, they hesitate the investing, they just hesitate. And to me, I've just always made it a priority in my life, and I noticed that I just see so much success, like I just see so much of it clicking because I'm really just making it that priority. So if you're ready to make it a priority, just send me a DM on Instagram at @NoDietBabe. And yeah, I'm really excited to change some people's lives. We've been doing the group coaching, and it's been going really, really well. The babes in there are so amazing, and I'm so proud of them. We've had some huge shifts. One of the girls in the group coaching group has just said that, like, I've broken her and broken her in the best way possible, because she said, I just can't binge eat anymore. It's like, I just can't do it because now I just see things differently. And this is just the beginning. Like, we're literally just in week 1. We're just about to begin week 2 of the group coaching program and the Emerge content. And yeah, it's like, can you imagine already in 1 week to feel broken? Like, you can't see binge eating in the same way ever again. You can't binge with that same you're just so conscious now that you just can't do it. You're broken in that way, in the best way possible. And that's the thing, like, you can't go back. Once you learn what I teach, you can't go back. You will forever see things differently. You'll forever go, oh, okay, now I get that, why I've struggled for so long, right? So anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I really want you to know that I have incredible compassion, and I know that when you've gained weight and you're experiencing that shame, it is a very painful experience, and I know what that feels like, and you're not alone. There are many people out there going through a similar thing. This is just a moment in time. It is not forever. And this literally could be the last Christmas ever that you experience this discomfort of being in your own body. And I tell you now that going on a quick fix diet, desperately trying to lose weight quickly, is not how you escape this experience for good. I don't want you to keep recreating the same cycle like I did, and how I see many people continue the cycle for the rest of their lives, because I understand that it's a pattern and your subconscious continues to play out that pattern. We have to end the cycle. It isn't about what diet you choose, how motivated you are. It's about understanding how your brain works and breaking those cycles. Anyway, I love you guys. I'd love to hear from you if you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you loved this episode, I'd love for you to leave me an iTunes review. Don't forget to follow this podcast for more uplifting teachings to come. For more tips, inspiration, and teachings, come follow me on Instagram at @NoDietBabe, or check out my website nodietbabe.com. Until I see you next time, babes, lots of love.